So much relationship drama. Oh, hey everyone, this is Joe from ActionX. Welcome back to What's on the Do, reviewing yet another episode of The Rookie. I'm sorry, I'm very zoned out. I just watched the episode. Okay. My whole pausing is making all you feel like, oh, was this a bad episode? Is he finally to give him The Rookie? No, honestly, not. I'm just baffled how, and I said this before in the first two episodes of the season, how the Rookie always finds a way to make the next episode the best one, and then is able to top that in a very short amount of time, where I believe in this episode is probably the best episode of the whole season. I know we're only 5 episodes in, I understand that, but it's just shocking to me how it's still, the quality is always improving. Like, there has not been, now maybe I'm just putting some rose-colored glasses on. Maybe I'm just like, oh, it's your favorite show, it's gonna be a while before you can see the negativity. Like, trust me, you're talking to the man who's been through a lot of bad seasons before. I survived Inhumans. I survived Arrow Season 4, Flash Season 4. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about when I say I know when a show is doing bad. The Rookie is far from it. Still, by this point, going into now week 5 of this television season, for me at least, The Rookie was the one to kick it off for me. It's still my number one show so far this television season. Batwoman and Arrow are so close behind. But enough about that. So let's get into the actual episode where, so if you haven't, I just reviewed the last Rookie episode yesterday. And I'm going to be completely honest with you. Like, this episode of The Rookie honestly also felt like a mid-season finale. It felt like a finale because, like, they were bringing together a lot of the elements from the first 4 episodes already, and I'll get to that in a moment. But before I continue, I'm just going to advise you, there will be spoilers for this episode of The Rookie, so if you haven't seen it yet, please wait till after you watch the episode to watch me talk about and geek about this show. And before I continue, I'm also surprised, like, how many guest stars, at least that I'm recognizing, is this show getting? Like, I forgot to mention this on the last episode, when I was reviewing the last episode of The Rookie. They actually brought back a Nickelodeon star that I saw back when I was a kid. I don't remember her name. I think I remember her name. I just don't want to butcher it. But she was the social media influencer. And she was like, I know you. You were from that canceled Nickelodeon show. And I was like, I should have mentioned that in the last episode, but I completely forgot. And They brought in, I forget, they brought back in this episode there was a golfer who was going to be an informant. I recognize him from somewhere. I don't remember the actor's name. And the drug informant from earlier this episode, she also looks familiar to me. I don't remember their names, so I apologize. But it's recognizing, like, I know LA is a very common state to get. That's where all the actors probably live in, so it's not that hard to, like, get those actors to come on board. But it's just so crazy how recently we're just getting so many guest stars that I'm personally recognizing, so that's freaking awesome. So this week's episode focused a lot on relationships between people, and it was a relationship between Nolan and his son and his new fiance, which was freaking surprising. We got to see Chen dealing with her own relationship drama, not drama, more like conflict, as well as dealing with her parents who supposedly were going to get divorced. Wes still dealing with the relationship with Gray in terms of, like, he wants to show himself that he can get back to the levels he was before. So basically everyone was having their own different sort of, like, relationship issues, even the character of the week. And it was very surprising how, like I know it's, like, kind of cliche, like, everyone's going through a similar issue or something similar, but it was very empowering to that it made sense for all. They all had their own different things. And it was surprising. So I was honestly surprised to see Henry back so soon. I like the actor. I like this character. And obviously getting him a fiance so early on in his life is a very striking connection to when Nolan was getting married. But this was actually different because, like, spoilers, like I said before, she's not pregnant. They're just madly in love. And honestly, like any concerned parent, when their young child is about to get married at such a young age, you're honestly concerned, like, are they doing the right decision? And who is this mysterious girl or person or that I never met before? Like, it's not going to sit well with everyone. So, honestly, this was, again, Nolan is acting how a human being should. where he has this moral conflict that should he just accept the fact, listen, you are my son, I trust you, you should do what you want to do with your life, but also should he be concerned that here's this girl that he barely has heard of, barely has only just met her, and now they're engaged. Honestly, he did the correct thing. He did whatever he should have done to. He fought correctly. That's what I'm trying to say. But more on that later. So the whole theme of the episode was that the rookies were finally getting paired to do their POs, persons. I forgot already. They're informant. They're PIs. They're personal informants that will assist them in making various of arrests. So the goal is to get one and to get a good amount of arrests off that one informant. And of course, with given how Nolan and Chen are in their second phase of training, they're eligible to do this. But initially, Wes wasn't, because he's still being knocked down a peg after the whole thing back in the premiere. So he wants to get the informant to showcase that even though he had that issue, he's still on the same level as his fellow rookies, and he agreed. And hilarity ensued. Of course, obviously, I'm going to do the subplots first before we get back to the main plot of sorts. So subplot-wise, we got Chen, who's once again distancing herself from my theory of will she and Bradford make it before the end of the season, because she's also concerned she hasn't been able to find a successful relationship, or at least a good relationship, since Nolan, and they actually do make sense of that in the episode. And while she's trying to deal with that, her mom and dad are supposedly getting divorced over a bagel. But to be fair, a freaking bagel with cream cheese, amazing. I think I gained a couple pounds because of that when I was younger. But anyway, that was an issue for her, and obviously deal with it wasn't a big thing. It was more like a nuisance, and thankfully they solved that off screen, where they could have definitely they could have played the typical. They could have done things more cliche, like having the mom be in every aspect of her life because she's moved into her apartment temporarily. They could have done that option, but honestly, the short little snippets we had, plus it's a big. They had a lot of story elements to do, so they couldn't do that much of it. They just had the right amount where it's funny when we see it, and then it was satisfying when it was done. And they didn't stretch this out over multiple weeks. They immediately solved that shit by the end of the episodes, which honestly, again, another credit to the rookie, not dragging things out. And then, so Chen, their whole thing is that she wants to explore a pawn shop avenue where, when people steal stuff, they illegally pawn it off for some quick cash. And they've managed to link a designer purse to a rich woman who initially was going to fire their assistant, but then turns out to be the child, who, honestly, again, another real world scenario where rich dudes get corrupted by beautiful women. And before you say that I'm a selfish asshole, or I look things clearly to look at this, clearly there are people out there. There are gold diggers. They are a real thing. It sucks to say, and I understand not every beautiful woman is a gold digger. I understand that perfectly fine. It's just that they do exist, and that's undeniable. And it was pretty funny how they handled this, where the daughter actually was obviously bummed out because her mom just passed away recently while her dad was screwing another woman on the side while she was dealing with her illness, and then they got married, and then like any rich woman, any beautiful woman with a rich man, she's gonna control him, and that was something that she wasn't down for. She got locked out of all of her assets that was supposed to be given to her from her mother's passing, and she's kind of being a prisoner in her own house, which obviously sucks. Here comes this stranger that she doesn't know come into her life and take it over. And honestly, I felt for her. Now, should she had brought a gun and try to kill her? Absolutely not. But thankfully, the mom got the justice and got sent to jail for possession of drugs, which was this was proper justice. But Chen's whole thing was and it was a very simple bow tie. Bradford was barely in it. He didn't really get much slack this episode, which was kind of the one. Now that I'm thinking about it, was kind of a downer. I could definitely use some more on Bradford control. I just love him so much. So that wrapped up quickly. Also, was realized that Wes knew the whole time that she and Nolan were dating, which honestly was like, okay, we're bringing up an old season 1 plot here, but it's like, okay, at least he's the smartest guy in the room. Of course, he was going to figure out these two were banging behind the scenes. No duh, anyone with a brain could have figured that out. Okay, so back to West. West. It was confusing. So he and Diaz decided to go with a usual FBI informant to kind of like, he's already been an informant. This should be an easy pick, and it was. They did the job pretty quickly, but it turns out this guy was a complete dick and was actually just using them to get a quick opportunity for his own nefarious purposes. Turns out he's actually a corrupted asshole, and they found that, and he got scooped out right away. Honestly, that I kind of blazed through that subplot pretty quickly, but it was fairly simple. They figured they did him a solid to get the informant credit, but it turns out it wasn't a real thing. Well, it was a real thing, the crime, but it wasn't a real thing, what he was saying about it. And he was kind of down about it because, like, he screwed up. This was kind of like the last, this could have been the thing that would have, like, officially kicked him out of the whole program. But thankfully, he fought quickly and he got it through, and he finally went back to being short sleeve. So very happy on that. This was a kind of a nice. It wasn't really like a whole like every single episode he had to do something like to showcase, but it was just nice to see him. Like, this wasn't like an immediate resolution. This was like something building towards these 5 episodes, and he got a short sleeve. So kudos to him on that. So back to the main plot. kind of went a little bit over the place with the subplot. So the main plot. Nolan decided to get 2 informants because this is Nolan we're talking about. He's the main character. This is his show. He's going to get more, obviously, of course. He goes for the drug informant, and it kind of does showcase a little bit of another reality life when people become informants and the police promise them, we are going to protect you. You will always be safe. No, you're not, because, like, they're not always going to be there, like, 24/7. There's going to be moments where they're not going to be there, and what's going to happen when they're not there? Something could happen. And this is where I forgot Harper's, like, she's, first of all, before I continue, Harper, great addition to the cast already. Last week was her introduction. I had to go through my own personal assumptions about her throughout that episode. So in this episode, knowing her character, she was definitely able to squeeze in fairly quickly. I'm loving her dynamic with Nolan. I'm loving that she's already starting to form. These aren't developed yet. They're slowly getting there, but she's already like starting to make more connections within the already established rookie world. So I'm loving this. So far, fantastic addition. I'm slowly loving her each and every week. The moment when the drug informant tried to escape, and she immediately knew her bullshit. She knew like she's gonna escape through the bathroom window, and that moment was like it freaking killed me. But the way that thing ended was like was kind of unfortunate. I'm pretty sure she'll be fine, but it was kind of a bummer that actually now that I'm thinking about it, I'm slowly remembering who the drug informant was. I think I've seen her before on another. I want to say a CW show. I'm not really sure. My memory's hazy right now. What was next after that? So they went to the hospital. We got to see the hospital lady again. I'm forgetting names. I'm sorry. These there's a lot of names for me to know. I'm sorry, but Nolan's old ex, who's now the doctor, who's conveniently now the doctor when Nolan brings someone over. Highly hilarious. She gets involved in the whole like Henry getting married at a young age thing because she's also a mother, obviously, and she obviously, of course, becomes the rational person. Says you should not look her up. And guess who decides to come up and show Harold Ram? Oh, God. I feel sorry for him. He liked some of my tweets recently. I'm like, oh, I feel so embarrassed for forgetting his name. Harold from Lost. I'm sorry. I forgot your name. I'm really sorry. But he's back. He made a cameo this week. And I'm like, add him to the recurring cast. Make him like another Bobby Iceman actor guy. I'm sorry for forgetting names. But please add him to the recurring guy. He is so freaking good. He's just quirky and funny, and his dynamic with Nolan is like, Nolan is a real, like, his age bro that isn't his rich friend, which we haven't conveniently seen for 5 episodes. Like, what's he up to? But anyway, so he actually helps Nolan get information on Henry's fiance. And, of course, the running gag throughout the second half is, like, should he read the letter? And, obviously, it's, again, another thing. Like, if you have access to something about someone you don't know before something's about to happen that could be a crucial deciding factor in their future. Would you figure out that information? For me, obviously, I would figure it out. But in this case, it's like he's the dad. He should be trusting his son with making the right decisions. And he went to the right store. He went to his doctor friend, and she said, originally, no, like, don't do it. And then she was like, you know what? I'm curious as hell. I'm gonna go read this for you. Turns out she did arson for something with an ex-boyfriend of her past. And, well, the way that... So I skimmed over that. So they were Nolan and Harper went after a second informant, this time in fake documents. Didn't recognize the guy, sadly. And again, it was another unexpected thing where it's like the rookie always is like, forget what you know. So when they were about to book the supposed people that were going to fake, they thought it was going to be human trafficking, but it turns out these were people who are already slaves to the cartel, and they were like, we just want to get out of this life. And the cartel shows up. Now, honestly, the way the things are this episode set up, plus with Harper's introduction in the last episode, are they setting up this whole like season-long conflict with the cartel? Because it's kind of ironic because like last week we figured out Harper, her 4 years away from her family, from a normal life, was infiltrating the cartel, and now this week we saw them taking down, or at least stopping the cartel from taking away these women's back with them. So are they setting up this season-long plot with the cartel? I would really be down for that, because I know this isn't like your typical, at least for me, I'm just comparing this like your superhero show where there's a big bad of the season and they're trying to fight them. Obviously this isn't the case, but it would be cool if this was like going to be a season-long theme. Will it be? Again, I don't know. I trust the writers more than myself. And I think that was it. So, yeah, so they figured, he tells them the truth. Like, I know this about it. She explained. And honestly, it was probably the most depressing story I've ever heard. Because apparently she, again, I think I made this point, I said this last episode where it's like, there's two sides to every story. Like, you read what you read on the internet or the paper, but you need to hear what the people from those sources, those reports have to say about it themselves. It turns out she and her ex-boyfriend broke up. He did not take it well, and he decided to get some revenge and posted some private videos of them online. Now, you can obviously assume what a private video is. I'm not going to say it on camera, but you can obviously assume what it is. And it ruined her life, because honestly, that's the truth. Whatever you put on the internet stays on the internet forever. No matter if you delete it, no matter if you try to get rid of it, there's always going to be a trace on the internet, somewhere and always. And, you know, the fact that she can never have her image, like, her personal, like, body private again is such a horrible thing for anyone to do to someone, and I really feel for her. And then it makes total sense. Like, here comes Henry, who is the son of Nolan, who is like a very sweet guy. So it's like, here comes this sweet guy who has no bad bone in his body. He's a very rational 20-year-old, which honestly a lot of 20-year-olds could be. And honestly, it's like, I feel for her. Like, no doubt they want to get married, because, like, well, at least for her, she's like, this is probably going to be the nicest guy I will ever meet. I want to be with him. And I'm pretty sure, we don't know much about Henry's backstory, but I'm pretty sure this is, and again, we don't know much about Henry, so is this his first relationship? I really don't know. I mean, it could be. I'm not gonna blame the kid, but I just really felt for her, and honestly, I felt like Nolan's emotions in that scene where he's like, oh crap, I screwed up badly. I should have talked to her first. I should have got to know her more. But thankfully, they resolved that. They could have easily done the cliche, like, I hate you, I never want to talk to you again. But thankfully, they calmed down. They put it behind them, and like they're moving forward now. And that was very sweet, a very emotional way to end up the episode. So kudos to the rookie, always doing the best. They always do the best, and that's why I love this show. Anywho, overall, I love this episode. For me, best episode of the season so far. It just goes to show, like, expect the unexpected, and that was just one of the many things I loved about this episode. And also, please, ABC, please, rookie writers, whoever's in showrunner, please put Harry. mispronouncing his name. Please add him to the recurring cast. He is such a freaking gold mine of comedy. Please add him. Thank you. Anyway, I really enjoyed this episode. I can't wait for next week. Honestly, it's gonna suck because like I watched the rookie episode, the one I reviewed literally yesterday, and it was like, oh, I gotta wait for a week for the next episode. Oh no, it's tomorrow, and it's like, no, I gotta wait a week again. This is like if I never seen the rookie before and I could binge the whole season, I would definitely do that again. I just don't have time to right now. But anyway, 2 thumbs up for me. I love this episode of The Rookie. Check it out if you haven't already. ABC's The Rookie. Anywho, before I wrap up, I'm just letting you guys know, for all What's on the Tube fans, I'm just letting you know, next week I will be back with another Rookie episode. As for the overall What's on the Tube spectrum, I will be reviewing, I'll be playing catch up on Nancy Drew this Wednesday with episode 2 and 3, catching up what I missed the last couple weeks, and then I will be back for episode 4 this coming Thursday, and then also I'm doing a special one-off on Doom Patrol Season 1 coming out this Saturday, letting you all know that as things progress, because you never know, like, maybe someone like, oh, he likes Doom Patrol, he's going to review it, I'm going to go check it out this Saturday, so stay tuned for all that. Anywho, guys, if you were unaware, this was What's on the Tube. If you just took your nap, oh, you enjoyed your nap. If you like this video, please like it, please share it, please favorite it, let people know. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more from What's on the Tube and ActionX's other content, such as the PodX cast or our Zelda Let's Play. And remember, this is still a new show, so we're still in this is still a new show for me, so it's like I'm still learning new things, I'm still figuring out what I want to do, what I want to say. So if you have any suggestive, critical, constructive comments, let me know in the comments below, and I always listen, I always read. I don't always comment because like I got a lot of stuff going on. And when I say that, I do actually mean it. I have a ton of homework I should be doing, but I'm doing this because I love doing this show. But anywho, thank you guys so much for watching. I will be back next week for the next episode of The Rookie.